You realize people thought you were ugly.
When we were playing Powerpuffs and it had to be Mojo Jojo.
So, I actually have a lot of these. When I was in middle school, I was a little shy, so, nobody was really checking for me. But when I got to high school, that's when everything started going downhill. One time I accidentally liked the group rates thing on Instagram. They all rated me a 5 or 6. I had a lot of pretty friends. A lot of guys would come to me to ask me to put them on with my friends, and no one ever asked to get put on with me. And that's the same for social media, because I post my friends. People just slide up, who that? Put me on, put me on, put me on. I get posted on their social medias. Crickets. This the worst one, and it's recent. I went to Miami with a group of girls, and every time we encountered some guys, let's just say I was not the chosen one. It was so bad that I tried to shoot my shot at a guy, and he was very dry, but I got his Snapchat. He slid up on my Snap where I posted with my friend and said, "What's her Snapchat?"
Tell a story about the first time you realized people thought you were ugly.
Hi there. I'm going to start this off with a quick thing, a side note. I'm going through the denture process, so yes, I know my smile does not look good, but it's got to get worse before it gets better. Alright, the first time I thought people thought I was ugly, I moved to a tiny town in Michigan, and the first day of 4th grade, the teacher taking attendance, Victoria Nowakolski, because I can never fucking pronounce it right. And I said, "Yep, that's me." And she goes, "Do you prefer to go by Vicky, Tori, or Victoria?" I said, Vicky. Vicky. Like a dumbass. And then proceeded for the next 12 years of education. I was called Icky Vicky daily, constantly, and even out of school. Yay for small towns. And then I just wanted to say, fuck you, Fairly Odd Parents.
Alright, so I already knew this, nobody had to tell me this, and the only reason why this one really hits home for me is because no words were exchanged during this transaction at all. So this happened last fall when I was a freshman, and I was trying to study for finals, and I was like, you know what, let me go to the library and study. So I had my whole table set up, and I'm like, yo, I need a pencil, duh. So I'm digging through my bag, and from my peripheral, I see a guy walk past my table. And while he's walking, he does a 1, 2, 3. So he did a triple take. So I'm like, okay. And I see this all from my side. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird. And he comes to my table. He takes off his, Beats. And as soon as I turn around and we make eye contact, he backs away like he just seen a crime scene. And in my head, I'm like, just like that. I know I'm not Rihanna, but I'm not Jay-Z, bitch. You didn't have to do me like that. That was uncalled for, sir. Uncalled for.
The first time you realized people thought you were ugly.
I have a twin. We're very different. We're fraternal twins, so we look like sisters, but we don't look like twins, I guess. She's blonde, and she has blue eyes, and she has big bonkers, and You say this, make it better. We're new at one school, and when I told that she was my sister and stuff, they were like, "Oh my gosh, she's so pretty." I was like, "Yeah, she's really pretty." There was this one guy that he was like, "Yeah, you guys are so different." He proceeded to keep going. Even people next to me were like, "Bro," I was like, I know. I think I did a list from the most beautiful girls to the most ugly. She got up in 3rd. I was at the very bottom. Oh, and also she gave me the shirt. Love Bling 800. Yeah, love herself. Since no one else will. Anyways.
Tell a story about the first time you realized people thought you were ugly.
Whenever we played Scooby-Doo, I had to be Scooby-Doo. I couldn't be Daphne or Velma. And every time we played Powerpuff Girls, I couldn't be the one with the black hair. I had to be Mojo Jojo. The other kids would only let me play house with them if I was the dog. And Victoria, if you're watching this, started the Barbie club that I couldn't join because I didn't have a Barbie. And then I finally got a Barbie, and then she started the Loose Tooth Club, so I couldn't play with them. And then when I lost a tooth, they started the Blonde Hair Club. I couldn't join that one.
Tell a story about the first time you realized people thought you were ugly.
Alright, so boom, we was in middle school. And this is lunchtime, and you gotta put your ID in so you can get free lunch or pay for lunch. And they had the seniors watching the screen. So my picture came up, and it was 3 of them there, and they all started laughing and pointing and stuff, and And I was just like, dang. I didn't even care. I didn't give a fuck. I was gonna eat. Y'all could just be laughing all day, because none of y'all pictures look good either. Then, fast forward one day, I was on Facebook, And you know how they have those like my status for rates and shit? I didn't know what an LMS was. I didn't know none of that. I like this dude's status, right? He came on my wall and gave me ugly, lit, X, 0, rate, everything bad. And I'm like, how can you talk and you look like that? You shouldn't even be rating people, sir. And finally in elementary school, one girl called me a beast. But I told her I could beat her ass up. And I did not stutter.
Okay, I got perfect one. I was dancing at a party, right, with a girl. Like, she looked really good and everything. Good dance, you know, Caribbean parties, all that good stuff. You know what happened. She did the infamous turnaround. And from there, I just knew. I was like, oh.
So I actually have quite a lot of these. I think the first one was when I was in primary school, so I would have been about 8 or 9. Oh God, so young. And I had a massive crush on this boy called Nick, and my brother went up to him and told him, and I remember he just turned around and went, ugh. I remember that to this day. And then another one was when I moved schools. I was in year 8, so I would have been about 13 maybe, and I walked into the class, and apparently one of the boys had said to the other guys, I've got dibs on the new girl. And then when I walked into the class and they saw me, he turned around to his friends and said, you can have her. To be fair, I was actually really ugly as a kid, so...
I've actually experienced both sides of the spectrum, but let's just concentrate on the ugly. Kindergarten, this girl was so appalled by the fact that I was so fat that she refused to sit next to me, and it made me cry. She actually went to the teacher to ask to never sit next to me. When I was around 9, there was this girl who, whenever she was near me, would pretend like we were in a Bollywood film. Because at the time, my skin was really dark. Doing the accent and stuff, that joke wasn't funny, and honestly, I hope that you've matured by now to realize that and never do that again. Then in high school, when my acne got really bad, someone took a random picture of me and went, ew. I was like, everyone has acne, dude. But he was like, ew, no. Like, you are the one who took my freaking picture and I was just here minding my own freaking business. At the end of the day, people will find fault in anything from anyone simply because they can't deal with their own faults. So, there is a fetish for everything, so someone's gonna think you're cute.
Oh shit, let's get this fucking started. I'd probably say this was like 7th grade. So what? This was probably like 2011, 2010. Like, you know, this was like 10 fucking years ago. So I never really had like a middle school boyfriend. I had one, but nobody really didn't want to be my little boyfriend or nothing. Only the pretty girls always got picked on for teams for gym. I always got picked or thought of last. I never got compliments of my face, just my shoes or my hair or something. I remember back when we had like these little school dances in my town, but all the black kids usually used to go. I mean, the white kids went too, but you know, it was whatever. But anyways, so I remember times like everybody would be like, everybody grab a partner, let's dance, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Then there's me by myself, because nobody want to fucking dance with me. Nobody want to fucking talk to me. Nobody want to do shit. So fuck middle school. That's when I found out I was ugly.
Okay, if you know me, you already know the story. But so one night I was at this party with my friends. This was not during Rona. I was at a party with my friends, and I wasn't drunk, but one of my guy friends was, and like I used to have a crush on him. That's beside the point. And he was like, Mary, you are pretty. You and Kennedy, my best friend, you guys are pretty, you're cute, but Ariana, she is beautiful. Like, you guys gotta protect her, make sure she doesn't get raped. And well, there's so much to unpack with that. Yeah, I just realized, like, this is what it's come to. This is who I am. Like, I'm just average.
So this story is kind of insane. I'll try to be as detailed as I can, but if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. But I was in 6th grade or something, and one of my best friends, we'll call her Miranda, we were talking, and I was telling her about this guy that I really liked. And I don't know, I guess she got fed up or something, but one day I came into school, and him and the guy, like, were chatting it up, talking. So later on, I asked her, like, oh, what were you guys talking about? And she's like, oh, don't worry, he'll talk to you about it later. So I'm like freaking out, and I was a shy kid, so I really didn't talk to him that day. But later on, when I'm passing papers for the teacher, he like stops me and he's like, hey, do you want to go out with me? And me being the 6th grader I am, I'm like, and I shit you not, 3 seconds later, he's like, well, now I'm breaking up with you. And all his friends are laughing, and I look at my friend Miranda and I'm like, what the fuck? And I come to find out later that she had paid him $20 to go out with me, or to at least ask me out. I should have stopped being her friend completely then, but it just got worse.
Okay, well, real quick story. So I was in the 7th grade and I had a little boyfriend or whatever, you know, real cute, real cool, simple. And so all the kids were coming out of class and I was really cool with one of his friends. So he was like, oh yeah, look, like this is blank's girlfriend. Like, look, he's trying to show like one of his friends. And the guy literally said, yo, she's ugly as like to my face. And like everybody was coming out of class, everybody heard, like he was loud, and then they were looking at me, and then he was going on my features, you know, regular black girl features. He was like, oh my god, her lips biggish, look at her nose, look at her teeth, da 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 da. And it's like, dang, like I was like 13, and I was like, wow, like I'm ugly, like I thought I was cute, like terrible.
Oh, I'm gonna win this one. So my best friend at the time was starting to become popular, and I was the unpopular kid. So she had to ditch me, and one of the best ways to do that, she decided, was to tell everyone who my crush was. My crush found out on the last day of school. We had summer break. Then when I came back from summer break, my crush had moved, and my whole class decided to tell me that the reason why my crush moved was because he found out that my ugly ass had a crush on him. So he moved because of me.
If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. And subscribe. We publish new videos every day.